Hi everybody and welcome back. This is Reality Authority and we're covering the quest. We're on episode 4. I appreciate you guys following and I think the channel's doing pretty well. All of the Paladins seem to be on board, so at least the Paladins, so hopefully we're getting more views than that. So anyway, thanks for watching and I guess we'll get right to it. We're going to start today talking about the drill. So last episode that it ended and we thought there was going to be this big battle and it finally had come, this climax had come and instead it was this drill. My impression was that it was cheap, it was disappointing for the viewer, and you know, we had talked last episode how we were finally excited to see them in battle, and now it's we're still waiting to see them in battle.
The fact that it was really hard for us to imagine like what a non-game specific battle scene would be like made it that much more exciting, I guess, so that when it turned out to be just a drill, we weren't surprised, I guess, but we were a little kind of let down.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the point needs to be made there. So they started with 12 Paladins, they're down to 9, and we've yet to see really any battle. I don't know if they're waiting until like the final 3 to make it really epic or something, but it's getting to the point where it's a little disappointing. We're kind of waiting, you know, the only training storyline can only go so far.
When we had first heard about the quest, like the concept of the show and what the overall narrative arc would be about, I think we were kind of picturing like a quest in the typical sense where they were like on an adventure and then like
continuing on the storyline.
Yeah.
We're not sure where it's going and getting a little bored. I think the major storyline from the challenge itself was pretty easy, and I'm sure that most of America is on board with this. It seemed that the females were at a disadvantage, but I mean, do you think that it was the females and their stature being at a disadvantage, or was it just no one really using strategy and everyone trying to use brute force?
I absolutely think that it was people not using strategy correctly. Maybe it was because they weren't presented with the entire, you know, field or stage before being thrown into it, because I was picturing like a ring where they would be like actually physically going against each other, but then when I saw it, I was surprised that there was the outer ring and then the inner beam, so I was like, oh, so the smaller people can like, you know, try and move around as quickly as possible to avoid getting hit, and then none of them really did that. Balance
generally, as a big picture kind of topic, usually favors females, and you would think that the females wouldn't be as much at a disadvantage. Clearly they were. I mean, obviously, the fact that I'm forgetting her name tells you a lot. Letitia, the fact that Letitia won, you know, means nothing because she won by default because Andrew was stupid. The whole thing was kind of a letdown. It was a cool concept, but I don't know that it was executed well by the Paladins, really, if no one else.
Right. Yeah. That whole last round was kind of a train wreck, and using like the slow-mo shots to try and make it, you know, more climactic. I was like, oh, I kind of get it. What else would you do with that footage if you had it? Yeah. You know.
Sure. Yeah. But everyone's like, way to go, Letitia! Like, yeah, you achieved something, and you didn't, like, at all. Like, you held onto a wall as Andrew and Shondo fell off. So, I could do that.
Mark of luck.
Adding to that, so far we have the marks of different, you know, traits for every paladin that wins all of these champions. The last 2 have been Andrew with wisdom and Letitia with strategy. Like, I'm sure you guys are nice people, and I'm not hating, but I'm kind of hating.
I think it was kind of funny watching like that whole cutscene sort of with Andrew like brewing the potion as if that would be an appropriate role for him.
It was so awkward. The past 2 episodes and the champions have been awkward.
Right.
Like, the last 4 champions have all been different people.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. So it seems that the bottom 3 have been relatively reliable.
Right.
But the champions have been pretty unpredictable, which is really, I think, unique to the quest. Because in general, you have, in reality show terms, generally you have a few that are really good at competitions. But so far, it seems pretty unpredictable.
I think that might be kind of a symptom of some of the challenges being more toss-up-ish.
Right.
And less balanced in the traditional sense than they would be in other shows.
So we've talked about this a little bit for the past couple episodes, like between ourselves, and we're wondering if there are overt alliances like you would see in Big Brother and Survivor. It seems logical at this point that there would be, because it's pretty important to have friends that will stand behind you.
Right.
But if there are, the directors aren't showing it. So either there are no alliances at all, and everyone's trying to play into the storyline and really just going with who they like, or there are alliances and the directors don't really want it to be about the game.
It happened last episode where someone, I think it was Letitia, alluded to the fact that, of course Bonnie and Adria will always vote with Patrick.
Right.
But we had never really seen those three together in that capacity before.
Right, that's true.
So it was really confusing for us, and we would like to know that if those three are voting together, that they are.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly adds a very powerful dynamic when you see the alliances. I don't know that that's a good thing for this show.
Right.
So it might be a good decision to not show them, but either way, we wanted to float the idea that stuff probably is happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
As you are well aware at this point, every week we rank our Paladins. We rank our favorites. 1 through, this week it's going to be 9. We do it independently of each other, just based on our individual tastes, and then we combine them to give you one big ranking list of who we like and what we like about them. So with that said, this week we will go ahead and start. We'll start with last place, and that is Letitia. She didn't do a whole lot. I mean, she won the challenge, but she won it by default, I think. I mean, she didn't really do anything to accomplish that.
Of course, I feel bad, being me, that she did not get the increase in popularity from us, favorability in the eyes of Reality Authority from winning a challenge. But yeah, that's like the worst way to win a challenge.
In fact, not only that, she was really cocky throughout the episode, if you remember.
Maybe. She
was just really talking about how confident she was and how excited that she was that she took those guys down. Well, she didn't. Right. And it just, I don't know. It was flat. In 8th place is Adria. I don't think that Adria is innately unlikable, but she's just so serious all the time, and it's just kind of tedious to watch.
Likewise, she was in the bottom 3, and she won the Fates Challenge, and then immediately just kind of disappeared from... from the spotlight. She was just like, oh, I won. All right.
7th place is Christian. Christian is someone who's been at the top of our list for a while, and then they dropped to the bottom of the list because he kind of sucked, and he seemed to be picking it up. I'm almost wondering if they're building the storyline over the course of the season where he's going to, win. So that was why it's so hardcore in this first few episodes. They were like, oh, Christian's so talented. He's so talented. He just kind of sucks right now.
The other Paladins kept mentioning, these talents that Christian can, offer them, but we don't know what those are.
I mean, how would they know unless they're doing some kind of stuff that we're not seeing?
Right.
Or he's just all talk.
Yeah, he might just talk about a lot of that stuff in their free time.
6th place is Patrick. Did he do anything this episode, at all?
I forget.
And it was kind of, I think that that's kind of an indictment on the show, actually. This episode in particular, it's not a whole lot happened outside of the challenge. So if you didn't do well in the challenge, you don't really get a lot of screen time.
I think the last episode's challenge showed a lot of the characters' personalities, maybe, because they were talking to each other during that first segment, and then in the next one, a lot of it was very scripted.
Tied for 4th place is Lena and Andrew. Starts off with whichever you choose, although I'm pretty sure which one you're going to choose.
Actually, no, because not much happened with Andrew this episode.
He made the top 3.
He made the top 3, but aside from that, there was the bumble crap of what he did in the last round was about the only spectacular thing that happened. But Lena actually went down for me because, she was in the bottom 3. And this was kind of the first opportunity we had to kind of see her outside of the rest of the crowd. Right. And she floundered a little bit. She thought she was going home.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And didn't really do anything about it. And that's a sin for us. That's a cardinal sin.
If you watch reality shows at all, ever, you know that you can't give up. There's always something that can happen. Big Brother and Survivor in particular, that happens all the time, where there's something going on behind the scenes that person that they've given up don't really know about. Right. And Lena absolutely, made that mistake, and I totally agree. She got lucky to stay, if nothing else, because she was likable. 3rd place, I'll let Dan take first. Shondo. Oh,
Shondo. He did his thing this episode where he was loud and it was predictable. He was in the fighting ring and then he got all excited about it and he was talking about how that related to his previous experiences. Yeah. So again, it was another case of you know, that's about what I expected from this character this episode, but not anything above and beyond.
I agree. Yeah. Shondo is loud, and he's, you know, at least he's loud. Because, I mean, there's other, like Adria, I'd rather Shondo than Adria, because he's at least a personality.
Right.
But past that, it's hard to really get into it.
Right, and now that Jim is gone, he can't say Jimbo Slice anymore.
That's a major knock on him now.
Yeah.
Question. If you had to choose between our top two, which is a tie for first place this week, Bonnie or Jasmine, who would you choose and why? This is actually not scripted, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't... What?
So we fell in love with Jasmine really early on. She's just such a firecracker and so passionate, and one of the few paladins out there, I think, that was willing to show personality and willing to kind of be unique and passionate. Her going home on top of that is so heartbreaking, and she's just so much fun to watch, and the show's going to be not as much fun without her. And
it really came out of left field for us because it seemed that based on the conversations before the vote, people were definitely going to keep her.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that was a director's choice.
Right.
Like, they wanted us to think that she was safe. And Bonnie, of course, you can't take away from Bonnie. I mean, she freaking writes songs, and she actually tweeted that when Cleo got called out and got called a coward, like, she wrote a song about him being courageous, like, while she was there that night. She's
an overall good character for the show, but she does focus more on the role-playing side of it, whereas Jasmine kind of focused more on the gameplay side.
Right.
But both of them were very well-rounded and
you
know, contestants for the show. And now one of them's gone.
Right. All right, guys, that has been episode 4 of Reality Authority. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that you subscribed, because we have 7 subscribers, and we're hoping for a couple more than that. So please follow me on Twitter, and subscribe and thumbs up us and comment and thumbs down us if you hate us. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we're looking forward to episode 5. We'll see you soon.
I'm gonna go thumbs down us now.